Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. Boom. Basketball season edition. Something.
Coach, basketball season is year-round now, but you got to get that in your head.
I know.
Got listeners all around the world, different seasons, different times.
There's no off season.
There is no off season. I'm trying to convince coaches no off season.
There is no off
Always thinking basketball.
What's my sign say there? We interrupt this marriage to bring you basketball season. We've interrupted this marriage for a long time. Anyway. All right. So before we jump in today, we want to give a big shout out to a couple of our sponsors, right, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Coaches, go check out Game Changer. Again, if you haven't, it is an amazing tool, free to use for you. Track your game stats, open up your games to parents who can't be in attendance at the game, and then finally break down your game film automatically. Use AI to help with that film breakdown, but literally saves you hours of time and money. So go check it out at coachingyouthhoops.com. Oh, I did that wrong again, Coach. It's gc.com.
You did.
/ We'll
put it in the show notes.
gc.com. Yeah, I was having some issues. gc.com / coaching youth hoops.
And I used it. I mean, I told you I used it this fall with our fall league. It was awesome because I was out in Vermont with my son for parent weekend, and I was watching my team and live stream. It was awesome. Yeah, I can't say enough great things about it. So gc.com / coaching youth hoops. There you go. I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
I took care of it. Good assist.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we work so well.
That's what we work. All right. And then what about us? We got something cool coming up, right?
Yeah, we do. Go check out coachingyouthhoops.com / drills. I got that one right, Coach. coachingyouthhoops.com / drills. We listened. We did something about it. Coaches were looking for drills to fix this issue, to fix that issue. It's in beta, but go check it out. It's not perfect yet, but we're going to get it there for you. We've narrowed down basically the internet of overload of drills, put in things in there that we know have worked, stuff we have used over the years. Some of the stuff you will find, it's extremely detailed. And you give us your feedback, though. That's what we're really looking for at this point. Again, like I said, it's not perfect, but we will get it there. We just want to make it a resource that you can trust to find drills that you need to better your team. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com / drills.
That's a good URL. He's not.
Nice and
sometimes
short,
I tease him on his URL because he has 17 slashes and like. Yeah. Anyway, drills. That's easy. Coaching Youth Hoops.
That's right.
/ drills.
All
right. Well, all right. So what's today's topic, Coach?
Today's topic is how do you teach patience on offense? Okay, so there's a couple of things on that, which is as soon as my player touches gets the ball, they start dribbling. That's one. Another one is they're not reading the defense that's in front of them, right? They're rushing things. That's a third one. So how do we just help players slow the game down?
So let's go through those one by one. One by one. So the first one was dribbling.
Yep. So as soon as I get the ball, I do that, especially at the youth level, right? 5, 6, 7, 8 dribbles, and I literally have gone in a circle.
Right.
I'm not doing anything with the ball.
Yep. So one of the, I do this with the varsity guys. We dribble too much. We have a true dribble max. We talk about dribbling to score rather than explore. We tend to explore. Dribble to explore never works out well. Works out well. So you want to dribble to score rather than dribble to explore. And then you're looking for double and triple gaps, which is way higher concept for most kids. But
not if you use the blitz offense.
Not if you use the blitz offense. Or the rule of 3 offense. Either one of them works. Yep, yeah. I know. Right. We Coach and I are but we'll run our offense in practice. No dribbles. Can't dribble. So it gives the defense an advantage because they
Mhm.
know they can deny and they can pressure and all those kind of things. And it slows things down a little bit because they have to screen and they have to cut and they have to find space because they can't rely on that easy, I can put it on the floor and get myself out of trouble.
Mhm.
And it works. It works really well for one of the ways of slowing them down. It's just no dribble. Because especially at the youth level, they're always dribbling to explore, and the really good ones can do it, but at some point it's going to stop. Like even at the highest level, it stops because you just can't do it because you're going to get doubled, you're going to get picked, things are going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The one thing I've always had a debate in my head about that though is I love no dribble. We do a lot of no dribble. I think it's a great way to slow the game down. Works on all the other aspects of an offense that you need to do off ball, right? Uh, and even on ball, right? If you have the ball, you got to work on your pivoting. You got to be able to keep your head up and see the back cuts that are coming in, right, and the people that have just screened that are getting open.
Right.
But here's my thing. I get the ball, I rip and I go, right? Now, if you tell me there's no dribble, it takes that aspect away of the game. So now you can see where that could cause some confusion. And basketball is very confusing already. So now I'm not supposed to just rip and go and do a stampede or what have you, right? And get to the basket. So I always struggle with teaching that concept. Now, the rip and go is I'm making a read, right? Right. So, that's
Which
the
is a
thing. And
higher level, which is a higher level. It's a higher level,
yeah,
yeah,
right.
concept. Yeah.
So the other concept we kind of teach when it comes to that is, we're trying to go in a straight line to the basket, right? That's the ideal situation. That's the best situation. So I work on that a lot with
It's direct
players.
line drives. But before we dive
Exactly.
into the straight line drives, before we dive into that, let's
Mhm.
give a big shout out to our sponsor, Coach.
Yeah,
Our other sponsor.
coaches, go check out Curve Health. Get a free assessment for a limited time. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/health. They're going to give you a free assessment on your team's mental status. So it's a little mental training and the physical training as well as nutritional needs for your team. Again, as we talk a lot about the X's and O's, but we also need to be mindful of our players' bodies. So
Right.
Irv has brought pro level assessments down to the high school level. Go check it out. It's free for a limited time. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/health. Get signed up.
Right. It's nutrition, it's sleep, it's mental health, it's all of those
Yeah.
things kind of in one spot. It's great. I know. All right. So we were talking about straight line drives.
Yeah.
Um, those are okay, but those are hard to come by, especially when defenses get better. Um, depending on your offense, unless you run the blitz, of course, coach. But
That's right. Yeah. Or
unless
the rule three.
the
Uh,
real thing, yeah.
so, but yeah, it really is just like it's this. You know this too. It's at every level where they're just in such a hurry. So we got to be able to slow the game down, right? There's a panic situation. Now at the youth level, the beautiful thing is we don't have a shot clock, right? So we can slow. Well, in some high school, for you
Most,
either, you don't have a
most,
shot
I
clock.
think, yeah.
So we have to be able to do some of these things to slow the game down. We actually have a couple plays where we're stalling and we run it. I run them even when we don't necessarily need it, only to teach them patience. Like let things develop. Take your time, right? Um, Especially when you don't have that shot clock. So that kind of takes,
Right,
so okay, let's recap that. We talked about the dribbling aspect, putting the ball down on the ground. Do no dribble. Right? Practice that in a game. You have to be able to practice that to slow the game down. Coach had talked about dribble to score, right? So if you're going to dribble, it's got to be towards the basket. If it's not there, then you kick it out, right? Pass, turn and pivot and pass out. Anything else to add to that one?
No, I think that's it. I think
Okay.
that's really good. Yeah.
Next one is reading the defense.
Yeah, that they can't read the defense. What is
Yeah,
the
they can
issue?
read the defense yeah, let's do that. Because the next one is really about kind of the off ball, right? What do you do in
Right.
the off ball situation? But yeah, let's talk about not reading the defense. So again, you're in such a hurry, you put the ball to the ground, you take your few dribbles and realize, oh, right, I just dribbled in a circle and didn't really go anywhere. Defense cut us off. So how do you get kids to be able to read defense, young players?
I personally think a lot. I mean, I did a lot of small sided stuff. I did a lot of
Hmm.
a lot of 2-on-2, 3-on-3, because that even in the 5-on-5, they don't have to read as much as they do when they're, what's going to happen when they double me and blah blah blah. Who's open? It's kind of like, who's I reading? Mellow Ball basically playing with his brothers, and that's where he feels like his passing got really good because you kind of learn to when you're playing,
Hmm.
together and you kind of get those reads. Um, that's a huge part of it, I think. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, no, I definitely think just more small-sided games, breaking the game down into, like you said, 3 and 3s, and just reps. But I also think a big part of this is the coach needs to be patient. As I'm reading through, feedback that I get from coaches and what they're struggling with, they're saying, "Oh, my team can't do X or Y." And I look at what grade they're coaching, is third grade. I'm like, yeah, they're third grade,
Right.
right? So you
Yeah.
have to also understand the age of your kid and what you're asking them to do. They're not going to be able to read defenses. And of course, they're going to put the ball to the ground right away. So you have to have some patience yourself. And it's repetition, repetition,
Efficient.
repetition,
It
repetition.
is.
And you coach a lot of our listeners coach their own kids, and they may see them year after year. And you will see that transition. So just have patience yourself when it
Right.
comes to
Yeah.
those things. But yeah, break the game down. I think in order to read the defense, break it down. And then I like what you said before is if you which we didn't mention in the one before, give them a dribble limit. You got
Yeah.
3 dribbles max.
Yeah,
Like
we do
that's all
that
you can
all the
do. So
time. We
use
do that all the time in our small
yeah.
sided stuff. We do that like in our drill stuff, like 2 dribble
Hmm.
max. Like we were playing 1-on-1 in practice the other day, and I did just because we're having a hard time keep containing, and people are blowing by, and it's like, all right, 2 dribble max, blah blah blah. We're working on hands and body and some of those things. So
Yeah, and I guess that just to emphasize that point, in case it wasn't clear, is that set very specific rules in your small-sided games,
yes, yes,
offense and defense,
right.
right?
And
So,
that's how you can change a drill and have an infinite number of different things is by
that's right.
doing that, just changing little nuances um to
Yeah, you could
feel the
literally
drill.
have a one drill for every category, offense, defense, transition
Right.
to offense, transition to defense, but it might have 10 variables
Yeah.
throughout the season that you could
Constraints.
practice.
I think that I think
Constraints,
that I think
exactly.
that
Yep.
I think the big lingo right now is constraints, but yes,
Yep.
changing constraints. All right. Anything else, coach?
Yeah, we need to talk about
Oh,
off
off
ball
ball.
patience.
Jeez.
And running, right? So what I see is imagine, I got one person with the ball. I got 4 other people on the court running around like chickens with their head cut off,
Right.
just trying to get open, right? Trying to going from opposite court side, all the way to the ball side. And all of a sudden you got 4 people on four
Right.
offensive players on one side of the court. So you just lost your spacing, you took away the drive, right?
Right.
Um, so, but you also want them to do something to get open, right? If
Right.
you're off ball, we don't want bystanders. So, in my opinion, what you have to teach is you have to, when you teaching young players, give them very specific rules to follow and not 10, right? If
Totally.
you are off ball, here's the one thing that you need to do,
Right.
right? And if you, again, another, just a kind of laughing about this, but coach and I've been joking, go check out the Blitz
Right.
offense, coachingyouthhoops.com/Blitz. because we do teach what to do in that off-ball situation. That was a big thing when I was creating it. I didn't want bystanders. I didn't want the kids coming across opposite side towards the ball, taking away a drive. But if you give them very specific rules to follow and not a lot of rules, 1, 2 rules max at the youth level, you'll be surprised how that teaches them to have patience and let things develop.
It really will. It really will. All right. Anything else, Coach? I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just do a quick recap. So,
Yep.
how do you teach patience? Really, break the game down. So we talked about dribbling, not reading the defense, and off ball, off ball or weak side. So limit their dribbling, small-sided games. Not reading the defense is what do we say for that? That was a few facts about uh, what did we say? Oh,
Reading,
I'm blanking on that one, Coach.
reading the defense.
Yeah,
What are you talking
reading the
about?
defense is, oh yeah, taking
Changing
time, right?
time.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah,
Limiting drills,
yeah,
limiting
that's right.
dribbles, changing
Having
constraints,
coach,
stuff.
having
Yes.
patience, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. And
All that
then
stuff.
off-ball stuff is give them something to do, a rule or two that they need when they're off ball. And
Yes.
you'd be surprised how, I
Simplify.
guess
Sim
yeah, exactly.
Simplify
It'll
is the
open
best way.
up, things will open up and they'll learn patience. And again, remember, it, this is not built in a day, right? So it's going to take
Rome
years.
was not built in a day.
That's right.
Rome was not built in a day. I know. It's true. All right. Till next week, Coach.
So next week.